have got Peter Martin, the chair of Badger Trust, for you. Peter.
Oops, I nearly didn't make it. Well, hello Birmingham Wildlife Festival. Hey! My name's Peter Martin, I'm chairman of the Badger Trust. But this is the Wildlife Festival, and so a lot of people have been speaking about badgers, and while I'm passionate about them, I'm also passionate about wildlife and everything else. And I think that's what I want this speech to be about. At the beginning of the week, I kind of knew what I wanted to talk about, and then during the week, some really, really unpleasant things have happened. We've had the Orlando massacre, where 50 people have been shot and killed for being gay, and another 50 people were shot but didn't die because they were gay. And then a couple of days ago, Joe Cox was killed for basically being a decent human being that stood up for all the things that we all want to think about and the things that we aspire to as human beings, and it's just kicked me sideways really. And on the train up here I was thinking there's a connection with all this killing and all this intolerance, and I'm kind of dig down into my mind about where it comes from, this intolerance and this desire to kill. So I'm going to ramble on a bit. I just feel that this killing is about fear of the other, and we're in a really kind of political situation now where for the last 4 or 5 years people have been stoking up hate, and there seems to be this fear of the other which translates into our world, which is fear of the wild. And I've noticed that a lot of people on that kind of side of the fence who kill things, who kill animals, are fearful of immigrants, they're fearful of animals, they're fearful of the wild, and it's all connected. So I've just wondered whether, as wildlife people, we should be more concerned about killing animals than perhaps we are. I've often wondered whether killing animals is actually a psychological proxy for killing people, and this week has really made me wonder whether that actually is true. Anyway, not on the theme of badgers, I wanted to relate an interesting experience that's happened to me in the last week. I live in Gloucestershire, and I live on the edge of a well-known personage's estate. You'll know him because he's got big ears and his mum wears a crown. Yeah, that's right, it's the Highgrove estate. And I walk my dogs around the edge of the Highgrove estate every day, and last week I came across a larsen trap. And the larsen trap had a magpie in it. And I looked at this thing and I thought, well, this shouldn't be here, it's right on the footpath. And to cut a long story short, I did what you'd all expect me to do. I let the magpie go, and I sprung the 2 other halves of the trap. I didn't think a great deal more about it. On top of the trap there was this sign that said, if you release this magpie, you're personally responsible for the death of a whole load of songbird chicks and for little lambs getting their eyes pecked out. And I thought, that is absolute rubbish. Complete and utter rubbish. I am not responsible for that. Wildlife exists for its own purposes. It feeds itself in its own way. I'm not responsible for it. And it's typical of the kind of propaganda claptrap you hear from the kind of people that kill things. But anyway, I didn't take any notice of that. The following day I went up there, and where the larsen trap was, pinned to the ground on a piece of feed sack, was a note written specifically to me. It said, Peter M., you will not be releasing any more magpies after we've crushed your hands with a lump hammer, you cunt. And I thought, oh, that's nice. And that just typifies the attitude of people who kill wildlife without thinking. You hold them to account for something, and their response is violence. So there's the first connection with what I was thinking about in the train. This desire to kill animals is linked to violence. And killing animals is an act of violence. And in that instance, on that piece of paper, that violence of killing animals transferred to a direct threat to commit an act of violence against me specifically. And I thought that's interesting. And as it's the Highgrove estate, and as I know them quite well there, I've done some work up there, fixing some of their wooden gates and doing some work on the estate, repairing stuff. I ran it through to the police and I said, you've got a crime here, what are you going to do about it? And they, of course, were very upset. They started an investigation and I got a chance to go and see their estate manager. And I was ushered into a very nice, fancy country house, lots of dark wooden furniture, hunting prints on the wall, cup of tea, Dutchy biscuits, very pleasant. So I said to their estate manager, what's this all about? Why are you using larson traps? Oh, well, we've got to. We're protecting all the little birds in the hedges. And I said to him, have you got any data on how many birds you've got in your hedges? And he looked at me and he said, no. I said, well, how many larson traps have you put out? I don't know, we've got a contractor. Well, how many magpies have you killed? I don't know. And by this stage, he was looking quite ill at ease. He knew I'd got him. It's like I'd electrocuted him. He felt bad about this. I said, well, why are you doing it? I said, what do you think will happen if you trap, say, 50 magpies? I said, all the magpies from the neighbouring estates will just fly in and do exactly what you say you don't want them to do. I said, you're not doing any data collection, you've not thought this through in any way at all. What you're doing is you're killing animals for cultural reasons, because it's what you think you should do. And what was amazing was that he agreed, and he knew I'd got it. And being a reasonably intelligent guy, he said, you're right. So we've never collected data on this, and I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to start collecting data on it to see whether this is actually worth doing. And that was a small victory. And so next year I'm going to go and look at this data with him, and if there's nothing there, if he hasn't actually managed to prove that a larson trap works, then he's not going to do it anymore. And that kind of feeds into what I want this to go on to in a minute. But then he said, but we've got to kill vermin. And there's that word, vermin. And I thought, vermin? What does vermin really mean? Vermin isn't a description of an animal, it's a description of a state of mind, of a prejudice. Vermin doesn't mean anything other than I'm about to tell you about something abysmal that I'm about to do to an animal. So if someone says this is vermin, they're basically setting you up for an excuse to go and kill something or to do something to an animal that they wouldn't accept as being a normal way to behave. It's quite interesting, isn't it? So again, I talked to him about vermin and his attitude towards animals, and why did he think that it was necessary to go and kill animals? Why did he feel that he had to? Why couldn't he think outside of his culture? And again, he started to look uncomfortable, and he said, you're right. So we got to that stage, and we agreed to meet again, and we're also going to meet up about the badger cull, which is going to be very interesting. But it made me think about something called cognitive dissonance. And that is that people can get, I'll give you a definition. It's a state of having inconsistent thoughts, beliefs or attitudes, especially as relating to behavioural decisions and attitude change. Now the example of that here is killing magpies to save another species of bird. Okay? That doesn't make sense on any level, does it? Why do we kill one species to save another? Okay? And that, because I'm chairman of the Badger Trust, it's the same with badgers. You know, why are we killing badgers to save cows? Particularly as the cows are going to die anyway. And we're only killing them in order to try and stop a disease which has got nothing to do with badgers in the first place. So really, all being a bit me mumbling and a bit confused today because of all the stuff that's happened this week, I think what we're up against really is we're not up against the psychopaths, we're up against a culture and an inability of a certain element of our countryside set, as they call themselves, to see that what they're doing doesn't make sense, that they don't need to kill things, that there are better ways. One of the things I said to this estate manager is, well, why don't you plant more hedges if you're worried about hedge species? Well, we do. And I said, well, why do you have to kill the magpies? If you were really that worried, you could larsen trap them, put them in a big aviary, feed them for a month till all the fledglings are fledged, and then let them go again, if you're that concerned. And he said, that's enough, you've done enough. I know you're right. But I think now what we need to do also, and the thing that's also been on my mind is that the wildlife community has been divided into lots of little bits. And I'm from the Badger Trust. There's people who support otters and birds and hen harriers. And what's really great about this is we all get together. But we all need to get together more often. We all need to support each other more often, and it is beginning to happen. And I've managed to, in my own mind, think about this, and I've called it murmuration theory. And I don't know if you've ever seen a murmuration of starlings, but prior to the murmuration, groups of starlings come from everywhere. They're not all one massive family of starlings. They come together for a purpose at a specific time, and then they go their separate ways again. And one of the problems with the wildlife movement is that you've got people who are not really thinking about what everyone else is doing, and then you get arguments develop between, but we don't need to be like that. Because the people we're fighting are the same people. The people who kill hen harriers are the same people who kill foxes. They're the same people who are trapping stoats and other small mammals. They're killing birds and raptors. They're the same people. And there are probably 5 to 10 million of us, but we're not murmurating often enough. So when it comes to Hen Harrier Day, I want to make sure that all the badger people and all the fox people and all the people who want to save whales and seals and butterflies and everything turn up for that. And when the cull starts, we all need to murmurate again. And if we keep doing it, they will hear our voices, and we will eventually get this culture of killing behind us. And that's basically what I've got to say today, but thanks everyone for coming.
It's part of the song that makes you want to dance when you knock the doors.